Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about cookies. So if you've been on the internet for long enough, you've probably seen something like this when you visit a website, particularly if you visit a new website for the first time. You get a little pop-up and it will say something like, would you like to enable cookies? Would you like to enable personalized ads? Things like that. And then you have to click a button saying, I accept or I do not accept. And for some people, that might be a bit of a difficult decision. You think, what am I actually signing up to here? Should I accept this? Should I not? What are the consequences? So today we're going to be talking a little bit about cookies. So cookies and enabling cookies basically means that you're allowing websites to store small amounts of information about your internet session. So you can think about an internet session as if you go onto a shopping site and you do some shopping and then you go away, right? That was one internet session. Now, if you think about this, when you come back to that same website, there's sometimes certain bits of information that would be helpful for them to store whilst you're away, so you don't have to start from scratch each time. So this could include login information like your username and your password, so you don't have to put that in every single time. It could be that you've added a few things to your trolley in your shopping basket and you don't want it to start all over again each time you come back. So the website basically has a way to store some of this information, and it stores it in the form of cookies. Now, cookies can be useful for that, so they're useful for login information and for things like your shopping trolley, but they're also often used for marketing purposes. So they give advertisers and marketing people an idea of the certain things you might shop for or the websites that you're looking at. And therefore they could be used to do this thing which is called targeted advertising. And you might be familiar with this if you've been on the internet for a little while, and if you use a social media site, for instance, if you're searching for, I don't know, some kitchenware, searching for an iron or something like that, then when you're on Facebook, quite soon after, maybe even just 10 minutes after, you see there's an advert for some kitchenware, kitchen appliances, and think, how did this happen? Well, it's because they're using cookies to basically use it with their marketing. Now, just a little note here is to say that some of this can sound a little bit scary, but cookies, if they're on a safe and secure website, they're totally safe and it's totally fine. But they could be a little bit annoying if you don't like having these tailored adverts and personalization. So I'm going to talk a little bit how you can change that if you don't like that. But they are safe. It's not a security risk. So I'm going to go through next how you can clear your cookies in the privacy and security settings of your browser, which can be, for some people, feel that's reassuring that they can clear those out every now and then, and you can actually modify your settings so that you don't get all of these personalized adverts if you don't. But for the most part, cookies are useful. It is a good idea for most part to accept them when you join a new website, because it means your user experience is better, because you don't have to be constantly re-putting in the same information over and over again. Alright, so the best way to sort of demonstrate cookies is to actually go out onto a site and show you sort of how it works. So I'm going to go into a site that I signed into earlier today. I put my login details in there and the password, and I'm going to show you what happens when I click on that website. SoundCloud it's called. So as you can see, I actually visited the website earlier today, and if I left click on that, you can see that straight away I am actually signed in. I didn't have to put any login information in there, and that's because it's remembered me from earlier on today, and it's been using those cookies to do that. So now I'm going to show you what happens if I get rid of my cookies, if I clear my cookies out, and I'll show you how to do that. So when you're in your Google browser, if you head up to the top right hand corner, you see these three little dots, and this is a sort of universal sign for more options, okay, across different apps. Three dots, if we left click on that, and then I'm going to move my mouse right down near to the bottom where it says settings. If I left click on settings, it brings up this page. Now there's a lot of different options here. We're going to just focus today on the privacy and security part of it. So if you move your mouse over to the left, privacy and security. And often with sort of settings, it's best to kind of just go through, read each one and try and find the one that you want. It might not be in exactly the same place each time because they do update things, but just have a close read and just see, you'll find the one that you want. Privacy and security, here we are. Okay, so in privacy and security we've got some different options. Here are all the options around cookies and other site data, and here's the bit to actually clear out those cookies. So it's clear history, cookies and cache. We might talk about that a little bit later on. But if you want to clear your cookies, for instance, if you're annoyed about some of the personalized adverts that you're getting, and actually sometimes for fixing things, actually clearing out the cookies and the cache sometimes fixes that. So now you know where that is. It's under privacy and security. I'm going to left click on this arrow, and here you go. I can say if I click clear data, it will clear out the cookies and the browsing history as well. Notice here it says signs you out of most sites. Well, the reason that does that is because, like we said, with cookies, it's storing some of that site data, but it will also, like if you were, say for instance, you went on a website for the first time, you did a bit of shopping, added some things to a shopping cart, if you then clear the data, which I'm going to do here, it would clear those out of your cart, so you'd have to start from scratch. Now if I just close this down and I go again, I type in SoundCloud, like we did to start with, you can see I'm getting a message here, okay, saying about cookies. So Google itself is wanting me to agree to the cookies, so we're having to do that again. And also when I click on SoundCloud, it's going to ask me to sign in, so I'm going to have to sign in again, okay? So this is a reason for why you shouldn't necessarily clear your cookies all the time or block them all the time. I'm just going to go back real quick to the settings to show you that there's some extra settings you can use here. And if you click on cookies and other site data here, it gives you some other options. We won't go into them in huge detail, but one thing that is kind of important and useful is that you can block third-party cookies. If you left click on that, that means it will sort of help stop those targeted adverts and the personalized adverts that some people don't like. And that's a setting that shouldn't really, it shouldn't break anything or ruin your experience. Everything should still be fine, but you won't get those personalized ads that some people don't like. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all you need to know about cookies.